Suddenly, your world changes. You're in a place you never imagined. You don't feel like yourself anymore. You feel alone, but you're not. Other people with spinal cord injuries know exactly what you're going through because they've been there themselves. They're the voices of experience, and they can help you get through this. Here's what they have to tell you about their greatest fears at first and how they overcame them. Maybe you have these feelings too.
My main fear was just the fear of the unknown, not knowing what the future held for me. You know, what it was going to be like to live with a disability. You know, because I've never met anybody with a disability, so this was a brand new world to me. So it was just not knowing.
I remember being afraid that I would never be able to be alone in a room because I wouldn't be able to do anything for myself, which was just not true because then, a couple weeks later I learned all the adaptive technology and everything, but I think just being afraid that I would just not have any sort of life.
I think the uncertainty, the not knowing, I think these are the hardest things, because I think when something is predictable and understood, then you know how to work with it. But this was something that I had never really been exposed to before, and it certainly wasn't something that I had ever experienced, and nothing that I had ever weighed in on as a potential component for my future. As you grow up, you think, well, I'll probably get married, or maybe have some kids, or 3 dogs, or maybe I'll just collect cats, right? But you never think, I'll probably have a wheelchair and build a ramp and all of these things. So you're suddenly thrust, literally in the blink of an eye, into a new way of existing, and you don't even know the beginning of what that is.
My greatest fear was just that I wasn't gonna be myself. I didn't know that, I thought legs meant everything. That's like, how am I gonna get around? What am I gonna do? So I was just basically really scared that I wasn't gonna be the same Michelle before the accident.
Being in a motorized chair, because I was super athletic, really into sports, probably a bit vain, and the idea of, being like some tweaked out guy in a chair that can't even push his own wheelchair was just really just a terrible fear for me.
My greatest fear was that all my friends would abandon me, and that I would never have a family or someone, a husband or children or anything like that, that I would have to give up any thought of ever having a normal life.
Greatest fear was that my identity was changing, and the way I viewed myself changed instantaneously. So my preconceived notions about life with disability, I immediately applied to myself before I knew anything about it. And so I almost had to make my way out of this preconceived notion forest so that I could see the light on the other side.
I come from my ethnic background. We're the malitos, we're the sick ones. And there's something wrong with me. And being in a chair, there's something wrong with me. The thing that really hurt me was that, what about, am I gonna have a family? Am I gonna have my house? Am I gonna be able to be when I was a kid, you look at everybody grow up around you, somebody got a car, they got a boat, the house, a family. Am I gonna be able to do that?
Married with 3 kids, my biggest fear was, how am I gonna be able to take care of the family? That was my biggest concern. And so that scared me. That really did scare me. I didn't think I'd be able to work or do anything. I had a vision of just being bedridden.
I've been a very, very high profile businesswoman, but that's what my biggest fear was, not being able to go out into the world and smile at it and get smiled back at.
My greatest fear was being accepted by the opposite sex. I always looked at it that a female wouldn't look at me the same because she would have another guy that would be standing there that could carry her, you know, that could carry her bags, do the things that, you know, a manly man should do. And I felt that I wasn't in a position anymore to do those things. During the process of my rehabilitation, the opposite sex started to come towards me. I started to draw them in. So it would actually change my mind and my outlook. Oh wow, maybe I'm not that bad. Oh, maybe a wheelchair is a good thing. Or maybe it's just that thing that opens that person's eye, or turns that person's head, or makes the difference to that person. So that was one of the things that helped me get over that barrier.
So it's almost a full year I was out between, you know, hospital and rehab. Part of me really looked forward to going to work because I really enjoyed the job. I've worked for McDonald's since I was, you know, 16 years old. So I'm one of these guys that got the ketchup in the veins and everything. And I really enjoy the job that I do.
Still do the same thing, go out drinking, not like to get super intoxicated, but just to hang out with friends. So my group of friends is like, you know, it's very eclectic. Life goes on. I mean, the only thing that changes, again, we have to find accessibility. So it's not about us now, it's about our environment that's not ready for our craziness. But life goes on. We just had a great barbecue this on Sunday. We were like on the beach, on the sand, with wheelchairs, which we never thought.
I actually think, in a weird way, the spinal cord injury was probably the best thing that ever happened to me, because I feel like, kind of like, you know, I took the red pill in the Matrix or whatever, right? I'd rather live the rest of my life like fulfilled, rather than a life with my head up my rear end. And it kind of taught me what's important, and that doesn't mean that I wake up every day and like I don't sweat the small stuff and all those other cliche things. But I really feel like I've got a great wife, I've got great family, and things can be frustrating, but I feel like at least I'm like being the best me I can be.
At the same time, every day, about 2:30, the school bus comes by and drops off the elementary school children in front of my house. They spill off the bus, wrestling and playing with one another, and I saw it. That's life. It is going on. It's right there. It's just on the other side of this glass, and it's going to be up to me to get through there and out there and engaged in life. And even though there's not a therapist here holding my hand, helping me learn how to do it, I just need to take everything I've learned up to this point from my rehab experience at Shepherd Center and apply it to my every moment of being. And then I can slowly start to adapt my life.
You may not feel it today, but in a couple of years, you will feel so much better about the place that you're in, even on your wheels.
Voices of Experience. They know. They've lived it. To watch and download the 10-part series, go to facingdisability.com/Voices of Experience videos.